think the last time I made a beehole, shit, man. I think I was living up in Maine at the time. It was like maybe November 2017. And now it's almost 2019. So it's been a long time. I know a lot of people like it. Some people don't give a fuck. I enjoy doing it because I can just kind of ramble. I don't really have to worry about time so much. I can kind of break shit down into different topics. And in this episode today, I'm going to be reading comments from my YouTube channel. I'm going to be reading a couple emails that I got in the last few days. I'm going to also do some fight breakdowns for the upcoming UFC 232 card. And I'm going to talk just about what's going on in my life and whatever else happens, man. So, hope everyone's doing all right. So I've been in Mexico City for just over a week now, like just over a week, and I'm liking it so far. I'm glad I decided to come here. You know, there was a point a couple weeks ago where I was kind of second guessing myself. I was a little bit, I was unsure if I really wanted to do this, and I went back home to Virginia for a little bit. I spent some time with my family. Some much needed time with my family, and I decided to pull the trigger on Mexico City, and I'm really, really glad I did. I'm really, really glad I did. I'm around positive people, positive influences, and yesterday morning I finally got my hand surgery. A lot of you know that, my hand's been broken for over 3 fucking years, man. I broke it in the kickboxing match, and then I broke it more severely on an ex-roommate's fucking face. In July 2016. So quite a while ago. So for a long time now, been walking around with a broken hand. Found a good doctor here in Mexico City. He's an orthopedic surgeon. And it's pretty badass because I was kind of nervous to ask the guy if I could film the surgery or take pictures because I just assumed he was going to say no. Turns out the dude filmed pretty much everything on his fucking phone and sent it to me. He was an awesome dude. I'm not going to say his name at the moment. I'll probably drop it, at a different time. But basically what happened is, they just put me out, and the metacarpal shaft in my right hand. So like the metacarpal shaft is the straight bones that runs from your wrist to your knuckle. And that's what was broken. It was broken so badly, it was like a curve. It was like a curve. So what they essentially did is they cut like a V shape into the bone. They pressed it down so it'd be flat again, and installed a titanium plate with a bunch of screws sewed it back up. So now I've got like a brace. I'm all wrapped up, and in about 6 months or more, I can actually start to punch with it again. Might take a bit longer, but it's going to grow back even stronger than it was before. And I do have to get the plate taken out eventually, which, fair enough. But definitely happy about it. And I know people have been leaving some comments on my channel, pardon me, saying that, it's only a matter of time before he's back in the pills, back in the opiates. And I think that's really fucked up for people to say, obviously, It's like you're kind of wishing, like you're wishing bad luck on me. But it's the internet. I mean, you can say whatever you want, really. But one of the first things we did before I got my surgery, we told the doctor about my proclivity to abuse drugs. And he's like, what kind of drugs? And I said, todos, which means all of them, basically. And he kind of laughed. And so, I'm taking no opiates. I'm taking no kind of painkiller. He prescribed me an antibiotic, and he prescribed me pretty much like an ibuprofen type painkiller, but it's fucking my stomach up. So I'm literally taking nothing for pain. I'm just taking an antibiotic, and it's really cool because right now I'm just sitting here. I have no pain at all. It can be slightly uncomfortable at times, but anyways, man. So I'm just really, really glad I got the shit out of the way. And I will be putting out a video very soon of the surgery. So I'm going to show like me beforehand, them cutting my hand open, them sawing the bone in half, screwing the plate in, stitching it back up, all that. And definitely if you're squeamish, probably not for you, but I think it's pretty badass that the doctor, he actually filmed it himself. Like he obviously like set the fucking phone down to do what needed to be done, but he would film it and then talk in Spanish over it. Pretty badass, man. Mexico City's pretty sweet so far. I mean, the only other foreign city that I've really spent time in was like Chiang Mai, Thailand, Phnom Penh, Cambodia, Siem Reap, Cambodia, just all over Cambodia, of course. Cambodia is so much more third world than Mexico. It's so much more third world. Now, granted, I'm in Mexico City, so I'm sure there's other parts of Mexico that are super fucked, especially near the border. But just overall, I just get the sense that it was a good idea for me to come here. Because for a bit I was actually toying with the idea of moving to Vietnam or moving even back to Cambodia to give it another shot. Because I kind of like still romanticize Southeast Asia, especially Cambodia. And I think that's really common for people who when they travel abroad for the first time and then they go back to their home country, they get this reverse culture shock. They start to reminisce and romanticize the country that they were in. And I was talking to my dad about it. I was talking to my friends about it, and basically what they were saying was like, you might go back to Cambodia and it's like not what you thought it would be. It's not what you had imagined it, because Cambodia, guys, it has a very special place in my heart. It has since I left. It always will, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, I think Cambodia is probably the devil for me. It's probably one of the worst decisions I could have made. Not just for the obvious, with the easy access of opioids and benzos and other, like, fucking every drug you can imagine. For very good price. Very, very good price. But the people, I had a couple of buddies there that were decent influences, but for the most part, all the people I hung around with were bad influences. There were people who liked to party a lot. There were people who liked to do drugs. There were people who didn't really want to grow themselves. They were just kind of cool, like coasting and just kind of staying the same their whole life, or they wanted to fuck me. And, needless to say, it's a good thing I left there. I would like to go back and visit one day. It would be sweet to go get a happy shake at Pink Elephant again. Maybe see a couple of old faces, but I think what would have happened if I had gone back to Cambodia is it would have been exciting at first. It would have been exciting. And then I just would have seen the same fucking people. The same people, and I would have seen the same places. I would have probably fallen into the same old habits, and then I would regret it, and then I'd be out all this money that I worked so hard to save for to get my hand surgery. Anyways, but the whole thing about cops here, that's definitely very similar to Phnom Penh, or the fact that the cops, like, you can just pay them and they'll fuck off. Since I've been here, we've been pulled over twice by the cops for because we have temporary tags on our vehicle. We're getting new ones soon, but they haven't come yet in the mail. And there's this thing in Mexico City where because Mexico City's in a bowl, it's surrounded by giant mountains, so it's prone to air pollution, it's prone to smog. So, like, every car pretty much can only circulate or drive like a few days out of the week to curb air pollution, basically. And I guess because we have temporary tags on the vehicle, I don't know the exact ins and outs of it, but basically cops will pull you over and they'll be like, oh, well, you can't drive, you got a ticket to impound, or you could just give us $10. So, give them $10, they fuck off. Like, it kind of pisses me off, but then I just think back I just think of going back to America. If I ever tried to offer a cop money to let me go, I would, that's illegal. That's what, like bribing a police officer or a law enforcement officer. Like, I believe I can get in some serious trouble for that. And not to mention all the red tape. So, yeah, it pisses me off that the cops will pull you over just to get a few bucks, but it still beats getting pulled over in America, because over there, they're pretty much all by the book. Like, you actually will have to pay a lot of money. You got to pay court costs, and Anyways, so that kind of blows, but still not too bad. And yeah, man, definitely enjoy Mexico City. I've been putting out a couple videos lately of like food cost and walking around downtown. I got plenty more to come, guys. I mean, like I said, I've only been here for a week. You know, once my hand heals a little bit more, I plan on doing some traveling, like Oaxaca, Veracruz, Chiapas, Pueblo, like all these different southern Mexican states. I'm not really too interested in going up north, to be honest. There's a little more going on down south. So just sit tight, guys. There'll be plenty more videos coming, which also brings me to a point about, I know for a long time there, for like several weeks, I was talking about my new channel. No joke. I had this new channel coming out, and I actually put up like 4 videos. And they even had like 400 subscribers, with like in a week or two, which is pretty cool. But, you know, I started doing some research on it. Like, is it better to have 1 or 2 YouTube channels? And basically the conclusion that I came to is that I'm just going to stick to No Joke Howard. Even though I could monetize a new channel, it's, you know, for me to get thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers, it's going to take me a long time. It's going to take me a long time. It's not even worth it for me. And I also think that in order for somebody to have multiple YouTube channels and have them successful, is that they already have to be pretty famous. Like, obviously, I'm not a famous guy whatsoever. I mean, I'm not famous whatsoever. I've got a small following on YouTube that I really do appreciate, and I'm proud of it and everything, but I think it's kind of cool to have one channel where people can see my journey. Like they can see my complete journey from when I first started. Like I started in Phnom Penh where I was shaving my fucking eyebrows. I was wearing my stupid ass little snapback hat saying, being kind of a douchebag. Albeit it was for show. Like I'm not actually like that. I just, like when I first started making videos, I kind of took on this persona, like this tough guy, go fuck yourself type persona, which I still kind of have, but I'm a lot more myself with it. I'm a lot more mature about it. And then I got into drugs and I had some of my kickboxing matches. Like, then it showed me getting into drugs and off of drugs and on, back and forth. And then my transgender girlfriend, and then, leaving Cambodia, then in Virginia, then Portland, Oregon, Portland, Maine, getting on drugs again, coming back to Virginia, working at a fucking supermarket, being depressed, drinking lots of alcohol. And then now then I moved, to the DC area, and then, just all these different steps in my life. And a lot of people have been following me through that time. And now I'm here in Mexico City. So, like, what's going to happen in the next year? So I think it's cool to have everything on one channel. And as far as being monetized, I don't really give a fuck about it. Like, how much money am I really going to make? Am I really going to make a salary? No, dude. And I never got into YouTube for the money. I never got into it for subscribers. I mean, I have over 15,000 subscribers, and I know that in YouTube, like for YouTube standards, like that's not shit. But I don't care, man. And I think I make the type of videos, and I'm the type of guy where I'm always gonna have a cult following. I'm never gonna have 1 million subscribers unless I make certain types of videos and I cater to the masses, and I'm just not that kind of dude. So therefore, I'm sticking to one channel. And sorry for anybody that subscribed and now all the videos are gone, but I'm just gonna stick to No Joke Howard. Like, that's my brand, that's what I'm doing, and I'm fucking proud of it. And I don't ever want to stop doing it. So, anyways, let's read some comments here. And then I'll do some emails, maybe a couple of fight picks, and then I'll close it out. Sub-Zero says, and this is in response to a mini tour of downtown Mexico City. He says, what about street drugs? Been offered any weed or coke? Not yet, man, not yet. I haven't really smoked weed consistently in I'm trying to think, man, maybe 7-8 months. And when I went back home to Virginia, like a week or so ago. I was definitely smoking weed every day. And it was kind of fun, but I just don't miss that lifestyle of being a pothead, man. Like in Phnom Penh, I was a total pothead. I smoked all the fucking time. And I really feel like it hindered my motivation because it made me socially, I wouldn't say awkward, but it just made me reluctant to do social things and like actually engage with other people because you're kind of paranoid, you're in your own head, you kind of want to isolate yourself. At least for me, like when I'm smoking weed, like I don't want to talk to anybody on the phone. I just kind of want to be by myself. I want to listen to music or go on walks. I'm very introspective, and if I expect to grow as a person or like have a business or even make videos and stuff, like I'd rather be sober, and I don't miss doing weed. Obviously, I think coke sucks. I think it's so fucking overrated. It's expensive. The buzz is short-lived. If there's any kind of upper that I could get into, it would be amphetamines. It would be like Adderall. I mean, God forbid I ever try meth because I probably would like it, to be honest. I've never tried. Well, actually, I have tried some Ritalin. Like in Phnom Penh, they used to sell some Ritalin. Now I don't know if it was real or not because I never I can't recall ever getting an effect on it, and I would snort it. And I just remember I would have to snort this ridiculous amount of powder to get the desired effect, but I never got the effect. I never got that focus or that uplift. So I think it was fake. Apparently here in Mexico, getting some Ritalin is not a big deal. Like you can go to the pharmacy and they have it. I mean, I have considered trying it just for that because I do have issues with like reading, and I'm not saying I can't read, asshole. I'm saying that I literally have to like go back to the beginning of the paragraph because I can't fucking focus half the time. It's not that I can't read. It's just I have an issue with focusing on things sometimes. But I feel like if I go to the pharmacy and I get Ritalin, then that's opening Pandora's box. That's just opening a door that I don't want to open. And just for the record, getting opiates here in Mexico at a pharmacy without a prescription is not going to happen. I mean, I'm sure at some places they might, but generally speaking, they don't sell that kind of shit there. So getting back into drugs is not something that I want to do, even weed. Let's see here. Big D Travel says, "Are you still boning dudes?" No, I'm not boning dudes. Thanks for asking, though. Bum 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 bum. How much is the coke a gram down there, dude? People love asking me about drugs. Like, I still get emails from people literally from all over the world, from the Philippines, from Europe, from South America, and they're like, dude, how much is a gram of crystal meth in Phnom Penh? Or, you know, like, where can I get ketamine, or where can I get Molly, or this and that? Like I don't really engage with those people. I have a few times, but I always feel dirty about doing that. I always feel bad because somebody could go and OD. Like, I met this guy in Phnom Penh. His name was Mordecai, but he went by Morty. And he was this older Israeli guy who I met at, I actually met him at Homeland Guest House, which is a guest house I always suggest to people who are new to Phnom Penh go for the first few days. But I met him there, and he gave me, like, this Israeli Defense Forces jersey, like the military jacket, which I still wear, which you guys can see in, like, all my videos. Pretty much, I still wear that, and it's a badass souvenir. And he wanted to meet me so I can hook him up with heroin. So what I did is I knew a dealer, and I gave the dealer this guy Morty. I gave him his number, his number, and then he went and got the heroin, and I actually contacted Morty a few days later, and I was like, so, you know, was it legit or what? And he's like, yeah, man, thank you so much. Like, I'm feeling so good right now. Thank you. And he said that he really wanted to meet up with me again soon just to chill. Now, he was high on heroin, so when people are high on drugs, they usually say things they don't mean. But I never heard from the guy ever again. Never heard from him again. And a part of me wonders, like, did he die? Like, did he OD? Did I contribute to him dying? Maybe I did. I don't know if I did. And, you know, if I did, you know, granted, it was his choice to do it, and also he was going to do it either way. You know, like, he was going to find it regardless, but Anyways, I don't know, man. I just don't want to be a part of people ODing on drugs. Let's see here. Northern Nord says, not only was the jacking off... Okay, so he's talking about this video I just put out, a tour of Mexico City, where at the end I had a snowman jacking off, just to be silly. He says, not only was the jacking off snowman unfunny at the end, but your voice makes you incredibly punchable. And it also blasted the volume up, making anybody in the nearby vicinity, blah, 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 blah. The worst part, it was totally unfunny, unsubbed to that. And then he basically goes on, he literally is calling me a faggot and all that stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, dude, I mean, as you all know, if you guys don't like a video or something I do, I don't give a fuck. I don't make videos wondering the entire time, oh my god, I think everyone's gonna love this. No. I know some people are gonna think it's stupid. A lot of people thought it was funny. Some people think it's dumb. That's just the risk you take putting yourself out there. Like, you're gonna have people that like it, you're gonna have people that don't like it. And sincerely, guys, like, this is from the bottom of my heart. Like, if you don't like my shit, simply unsubscribe and watch some other motherfucker. I'm still gonna keep being goofy and silly. I don't care. And I'm punchable. Yeah, dude, come try and punch me. Come try and punch me and miss. Cool. Just swing at air and look stupid. You're not gonna fucking land one shot on me, I promise you. No joke, learn Spanish now. Pinche cabrón, gringo, no mames. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I've learned Spanish, but I definitely know some. It's definitely by far my biggest fucking challenge here in Mexico is speaking with the natives, and I think one of the biggest problems I'm having is that I'm comparing myself to a native speaker. Like, I got to stop doing that, because I'll I'll say something to a native speaker. I'll be like, I don't know. I'll say like, just to keep it simple. I'll be like cuánto cuesta, which is like, how much does it cost, or something like that. And then they'll be like, and I'm like, huh? And I have to be like, habla despacio, which means like, please speak a little slower. And then I can usually get it when they speak slower, but I've only been here for a week, and I think I'm doing decently. Ryan Orley says, wow, completely not what I was expecting from this video. No joke editing. Yeah, I know that in the past I talked about how I don't like to edit my videos and stuff for various reasons. Because, and it's not because I don't know how to edit. Like, I know how to edit videos. I'm not a dum-dum. The reason I don't like to edit is because I think it takes away from the authenticity. I think that there's so many YouTubers out there, while they might have a lot of subscribers and followers, I think that watching their videos for me is annoying. Especially like vloggers who travel, like, they're so chopped up and edited so they don't say the wrong thing, or they don't want to look stupid, or this and that, and they overlay this stupid this retarded music over it. And I just think it's so lame, and I don't want to be like that. And I'd rather have less subscribers and be myself than the opposite. And there's certain things I want to edit, like if I'm trying to make a video breaking down the cost of living or the cost of groceries or giving a tour, I think it's better to make a 5 or 6 minute video with a bunch of different segments with a little bit of narration and subtitles than like 2 or 3 or 4 10 or 15 minute videos where it's just too much to watch. So some of my videos I'm going to edit and some I'm not. So I'm just going to do a little bit of both, and seems to be working okay so far. I'm going to do a couple more comments. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Where do I stay there? Is the rent cheap there? In Mexico City, I live in a little part of it's like a village basically called Coapa, and it's in Tlalpan, which is the county, you could say. It's like in southern Mexico City. The rent in the apartment is like $400. And it's a nice place, man. It's a nice place. You got like a nice 2-bedroom, full kitchen, living room, bathroom. We got 2 little outdoor areas. Very, very nice neighborhood. Like there's guards to come in. It's like a gated kind of community actually, and the houses are fucking beautiful. The streets are nice. It's a nice neighborhood with a lot of parks, nice people. For like $400. Now, does that mean that you cannot get a cheaper place? Absolutely not. There are much more affordable places, but for right now, I'm in a great neighborhood, good atmosphere, all that shit. Let's do a couple emails here. Let's see what time I got. All right, about 25 and a half minutes. All right, so I actually got this email the other day, and it's from a gentleman named James Michael Davies, and I know for a fact there's about 10,000 other white dudes named James Michael Davies. He says, post-TEFL blues, what next? And James, if you're listening, thanks for the email, sir. And I think this guy's conundrum, his problem is fairly common. So I'm just going to read it. And I think that even some of you guys might be in the same predicament. He says, hey, no joke. Oh, let me get a sip of water. Sorry, guys. He says, hey, no joke. I've been following you for nearly 3 years now, and I'm a big fan. And I apologize in advance if this email's long, blah, 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 blah. Okay, he says, I've been living and working back in the UK for 6 months. Before that, I did TEFL teaching in Thailand for 3.5 years and Italy for 2. I've gone from a fulfilling but poorly paying TEFL job to working in a boring-ass office in my hometown, 45 hours a week, but being paid fairly well the last few months. I've been struggling with reverse culture shock, restlessness, and depression. I feel you, buddy. I feel you on that. Especially now in the depths of the UK winter, I'd like to go back to Thailand and teach in a heartbeat. He says, the only problem is I have a Thai wife. Oh, boy. Here with me in the UK loves it. All right, I'm just going to stop right there. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Hey, bro. With all due respect, I don't want to put you into a box, but you married a woman from Thailand and you took her back to the UK. Big fucking mistake. If your dream is to travel the world and not make that much money. Big fucking mistake. Marrying a woman from a place like Thailand, Cambodia, any place that's poor, even from Africa, from Latin America. I mean, chances are she married you for the economic opportunity. I hate to say it because I know that's not always the case. Anyways, she has a decent job and earns more than she ever would back in Thailand. Yeah, of course, dude. She refuses to go back to Thailand, and every time we talk about my desire to go back, we end up arguing. I'm unsure of what to do and who to talk to, especially as my friends and family here don't have the same experiences traveling and living abroad. Nor know what the reverse culture shock feels like. I love my wife more than anything and will do anything for her, but at the same time, I can't help feeling so dissatisfied being back in same old England after making so many bold decisions, pursuing happiness and fulfillment in the past. Now I feel like I'm going backwards. What are your thoughts on this, Jay? All right, Jay. Well, I already told you one part. I mean, you're a white dude. You're from a first world country, you go to a third world country. Although Thailand's fairly developed. But you know what the fuck I mean, dude. You married a Thai lady. I've always said this in the past, I don't think that they're going to marry you for love, dude. I think they're going to marry you for the economic opportunity. And I know that that's not always the case, but I think it usually is. Like, I have a family member, I'm not going to say who, but he married an African woman. And this woman is never at the house. She doesn't even live with him anymore. But yet he financially still provides for her. He pays for her thing, her car and all her bill. I'm not going to get into it. But he never even sees her, but yet pays for all of her shit and they're still married. And he seems to be content with it. I don't understand how, but everybody thinks it's very weird. Obviously, she did not marry my family member for the love. She married him for clearly for the economic opportunity and advantage, which I don't even blame her for. You got to blame the man for that. Like it's the guy's fault. So let's talk about Jay here. He had a great time traveling abroad, living adventurously, made less money, albeit, but had a much more fulfilling life, which I believe in. I believe in happiness over a lot of money. Because now he's working over 40 hours a week in his hometown in a fucking office in shitty England. And you guys know how I feel about England, man. It's a little island with shitty weather, shitty food, ugly ass fucking women. Yeah, I said it. And that's why the British, that's why they wanted to fucking take over the world and go everywhere but England, because England sucks. That's why, dude. England fucking sucks. That's why people want to leave. And on top of that, he doesn't have anybody around him that can like empathize, because he's probably around people that like to stay in England. They like to live the safe life, married ugly ass English woman. And he thought it would be a good idea to go to Thailand and get a hot Thai wife. She's probably all right looking, man, but she probably doesn't love you. Now, this is what divorce is for. Divorce is for when two people have differing ideas, differing goals in life, and it's time for them to part ways. It sounds to me, Jay, like you need to get a divorce from your wife. That's what it sounds like to me. Because she is prioritizing her happiness over yours. And that's not what a marriage should be about. A marriage should be about equality and desire or goals or whatever. You know, she doesn't want to go back to Thailand. And if you bring it up, you guys fight. Now, another option could be you guys go to a new country altogether. You guys could go to a new country where you could still kind of do your thing, but she could still make good money. But it sounds to me like she just wants to make a lot of money. So that's why I think you guys should get divorced. Now, I know that's going to bring on a whole new set of problems, but in the long run, it might be worth it for your happiness, dude. If I was in a marriage and my wife prioritized her happiness over mine, I would be an unhappy guy myself, especially if that meant I had to work in a fucking bullshit ass office in fucking England, dude. Just so my wife could be, like make money. Like, what the fuck is that? So any guys out there, I'm just gonna say this right now, dude. If you're going to an underdeveloped country, or you know what, any country, don't get fucking married. How about that? Don't get married ever. I don't care who the bitch is. Don't get fucking married. With 70, 80% divorce rate, why would you? Now you're stuck in a situation where you're unhappy. Your wife or significant other is prioritizing their happiness over yours. They don't give a fuck if you're happy. They just want to use you for the economic advantage. And then now, on top of that, if you do want to do your own thing, then you can't. Like, you're legally bound to this person, and you're fucking your life up. Don't get fucking married. It's a bad idea. It's an outdated tradition. It's 2019 about. Why would you just be with somebody? And if you're not happy, then fucking go. Sorry, Jay, that you're in this predicament, man, but dude, you fucked up by marrying this woman. I don't want to be Captain Hindsight over here, but I think you fucking know that, man. I don't mean to be hard on you, but dude, you gotta get divorced from this fucking Thai lady, man, because she doesn't give a fuck. I'm telling you, man. I know that's hard to hear and accept it, but obviously, she don't give a fuck. Like, you say that you love her more than anything. Does she love you more than anything? Obviously not. It's like the old saying goes, like, you love this, but does that love you back? And that's a hard fucking pill to swallow now, isn't it? Don't get fucking married. Sorry, Jay. Get divorced, bro. Peace. Alright, let's see here. Got one more email I'm going to do. This is an interesting one. He says, Addicted to Blowjobs. The title of this email, Addicted to Blowjobs by John. Sup, NJH. I'll make this as short as possible. If you can't bother reading more than 5 paragraphs, go fuck yourself. Real nice, buddy. Real nice. And the email is about 2 paragraphs, so you can go fuck yourself for not knowing how to count or knowing what a fucking paragraph is. He says, I've been addicted to everything since I was 12. Alcohol, meth, cigarettes, weed, cocaine, opium. No pills, though. Anyway, I've always been a good poker player, and I could make about $3,000 to $4,000 a month playing poker for the last 10 years. That's fucking impressive, dude. What a life. He says, I managed to shake off drugs, but I've just been drinking and smoking for the last couple of years. I did pick up a blowjob addiction, though. They have blowjob bars in Thailand where I stayed for the last 5 years. That sounds pretty sweet. It's about $30 for a blowjob. And I go like 40 times a month. And what's the math on that? What is that, like $1,200 a month for getting your dick sucked, right? Something like that. He says, I even take 2 to 3 girls at the same time, which I don't understand. That you got one dick. How are you going to get 2 to 3 girls to suck your dick? Why? I guess like put like one ball in the girl's mouth, another ball, and then you get your dick sucked. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. He says, I spent about $20,000 US total on that shit, and no regrets. Do you think this is normal? And can I do this for the rest of my life, not giving a fuck if I can afford it? Keep in mind, these blowjobs is keeping me from looking for meth and other trashy drugs. All right, so we got a guy. He's an expert poker player. He makes a very good living on playing poker, and he managed to shake off his drug addiction. Now he's kind of addicted to getting blowjobs, and he's going, essentially 1 to 2 times a day, all the time, and he loves it. And I'm trying to think what like is that bad? I mean, if you're looking for a true, meaningful, loving relationship that doesn't involve getting married, as I've stated, then that's probably not going to work out, dude. I can't imagine any woman that wants to be with a guy who's addicted to going to blowjob bars and getting his dick sucked every fucking day. I can't imagine that there's a woman that'll be cool with that. Right? So, dude, if it keeps you off the meth and all these other drugs, go for it, dude. I mean, it's keeping you off meth. It's keeping you off, smoking weed, keeping you off cocaine, opium, who knows what else. The only thing that you should ask yourself is can you live without it? Because now you're saying you're addicted to blowjobs. So what if you have to go back to I'm not sure where you're from, but they don't have blowjob bars, anywhere else but Thailand probably. I'm sure there's somewhere, but then what? Then what, dude? So you seem to have an addictive personality. You're always going to want something that you can indulge in because, dude, going 40 times a month to a blowjob bar, that is crazy, dude. Like that, and I'm not saying you're a bad guy, but that is absolutely fucking nuts. I mean, honestly, it is. And do the blowjobs still even feel good after a while? I mean, I guess you can get what is it about a blowjob that's so amazing? I've had plenty of blowjobs in my life, and to be quite honest, even the good ones are they're not they're good, but getting your dick sucked is not the best thing ever. You think it is like when you're horny and you're jerking off or watching porn, you watch a blowjob or you think about a blowjob, because the visual looks cool. But to actually get a blowjob, it's very, very hard for me to finish from a blowjob. I mean, I can probably count on one hand of times I finished from a blowjob, honestly. Fucking is where it's at. So I can see getting addicted to actual fucking, actual penetrative sex. But a blowjob, I mean, whatever, dude. Honestly, if that's what you want to do, and you're happy, and you can afford it, and it's keeping you off hard drugs, that's great. But what about when you have to, unless you're going to stay in Thailand for the rest of your life, then what? You're going to get back into drugs again? I don't know what to say to that, man. I just hope that it's something that is sustainable for you, and I guess I mean, fucking enjoy yourself, man. I mean, there's far worse things to be addicted to, I guess, right? So, anyways, man, I'm trying to. Are there any other emails I got that are worth reading? I mean, I got a couple. Let's see what time I got here. I'm about to wrap this bitch up. All right, let's talk about UFC 232. I'll talk about a couple of fights. This is definitely a stacked ass card, man. Got next Saturday. Definitely pumped up to watch this card. I'm only going to talk about the fights that I'm interested in, pretty much, or ones that I think will be good. So the first fight on the prelims, we got BJ Penn, absolute fucking legend, versus Ryan, the Wizard Hall. A lot of you, if you're not a hardcore fan like myself, if you're a fucking casual pussy, no, I'm kidding, but seriously, if you're a casual faggot, Ryan Hall, you probably don't know who that is. He was on the Ultimate Fighter. I think he was on the season with Conor McGregor and Uriah Faber coaching. And Ryan Hall, he's actually a Virginia fighter where I'm from. Now, when I was working at the brewery a few months ago in Falls Church, Virginia, I would see him there on a regular basis because he owns a school in Falls Church, Virginia called 50/50 Jiu-Jitsu, and he's like, I guess, the owner and one of the head coaches there. Got a super laid back demeanor, doesn't look like a guy that could snap your fucking legs off. He seems to have a very bland personality, but I don't know the guy personally. BJ Penn is another classic example of a fighter who's having a hard time letting go. His last several fights he's lost. I think he beat Dennis Siver by decision like a couple years ago. He got knocked the fuck out by Yair. He got the fuck beat out of him by Nick Diaz. I think there was a couple other fights where he lost pretty badly, and it's pretty evident that he's past his prime. I personally, being an MMA fan, yeah, it'd be great to see the legend win, but I think realistically, Ryan Hall's going to submit him, and it's probably not going to go well for BJ Penn. Obviously, I could always be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think that after this fight, regardless of what happens, BJ Penn should let it go. But that's easy for me to say, of course. I mean, I'm not like a lifelong fighter, and I don't really, because a lot of these guys who are fighters, man, they kind of equate it to law enforcement or like military members, where they're so used to this adrenaline, they're so used to this high paced action, this adrenaline rush, this hardcore lifestyle. And to be in a crowd of like 20,000 people and win a fight and be champion and have everybody chanting your name, you can't buy that. You can't smoke that. You can't snort that. You can't inject that into your veins. That is something that can only be accomplished by doing that. You have to actually be a high-level fighter and win. And, so I get it. It's like going back to normal life must be kind of dull. And that's why a lot of these guys, they fall into drug addiction, which is fucked up. Like a lot of ex-boxers or ex-fighters and even people in the military, they fall into alcoholism or drugs because the pace of regular life is just so lame. That's definitely sad, man, to see that. And I am gonna pull for Ryan Hall just because he's a Virginia boy like me, and he's a younger up and comer who doesn't really have a big name out there yet. And it'd just be cool to see him win, man. So I'm going to pick Ryan Hall by finish. We got a couple of guys here. We got a girl fight, which I'm not. The only girl fights I talk about are Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Valentina Shevchenko, Amanda Nunes, Holly Holm, and Chris Cyborg. That's it. Everybody else is boring. Last fight of the prelims, we got Andrei Arlovsky versus Walt Harris. Andrei Arlovsky's last fight, I believe, was against Tai Tuivasa. He lost by a decision. Walt Harris's last fight, I want to say, was against Daniel Spitz, and he knocked him out pretty badly. Because Daniel Spitz thought it would just be a good idea to throw lead leg kicks, like lead leg low kicks, and little pawing jabs, which is just it's so embarrassing to watch, dude. Andrei Arlovsky, a lot of his last few fights, man, he's been getting knocked out pretty good. He got knocked the fuck out by Ngannou, Stipe. Who else did he get knocked the fuck out by? I know there's a couple other dudes. I kind of forget right now. Andrei Arlovsky, another guy. Classic example. Definitely on the, finished side of his career. His fights have not been impressive to watch. I mean, I think the last impressive performance he put on was against Travis Brown. That was several years ago, and that was a crazy back and forth fight, and he ended up getting a TKO victory over Travis Brown. And then you got this young up and comer and again, if you're not a hardcore fan like myself and a lot of you guys are, Walt Harris is probably somebody that you don't know, but this motherfucker's got some sick hands. I believe he's a southpaw. I've seen his knockout power. It's absolutely ridiculous. He's a younger guy. He's faster. Andrei Arlovski's he's not as fast as he was, man. I think he's close to 40 now. Definitely a legend. And again, like I said, it just, I feel like a lot of these guys, when they get to the latter end of their career, it's like, what else can they do? Being a fighter, it's like, the only way that there's a future in it is if you can stay, with it enough. And I guess what I'm trying to say here is, like, a lot of fighters get brain damage, man, and they're punch drunk and they're slurring their words. I mean, I can think of a bunch of guys off the top of my head, like Nate Diaz, Stipe Miocic. Even though Stipe Miocic is still arguably one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, if not the greatest heavyweight ever, just by his accomplishments, the dude is very evidently punch drunk. And if he keeps getting punched in the fucking head, it's going to be way worse. Andrei Arlovski, I don't know about him. He seems to not have much of a personality. Like, what else can the guy do besides fight? But there's an expiration date on every fighter's career, and I think that Walt Harris is he's just faster because Andrei's getting older now, and I think he's going to catch Arlovski, and Arlovski's got he's known to have kind of a glass chin, but then again, it's the heavyweight division, so if you get hit, I'm picking Walt Harris by first or second round TKO. Now, let's go to the main events here. This main card is sick. This is actually a sick-ass main card, dude. Chad Mendes versus Alexander Volkanovski. Now, again, if you're not a hardcore fan, you probably don't know Alexander Volkanovski. He's actually fighting out of Australia, even though he's got the scary Eastern European name. This is a featherweight bout. And Chad Mendes just had his first fight in Boise several months ago against Miles Jury. And he won by TKO, I think, first or second round. And Chad Mendes was off for several years because of steroids, which I don't think you should be taking steroids if you're fighting MMA, unless both guys are. I'd like to see Chad Money Mendes come back. I'd like to see him get the win over Volkanovski. But I think it's so funny when people refer to fighting as a game. Like, I get it, yeah, it's just like it is a sport, but dude, Monopoly's a game, dude. Tennis is a game. Alright, you have serious consequences at stake here if you make a mistake. Like a Monopoly, if you make a mistake, oh what? Oh what, you lose some fake money? And fighting, if you make a mistake, oh, you get permanent fucking brain damage, you get your arm broken? Fuck you, it's not a game, dude. I'm picking Chad Mendes to get the win. I think he's still young. He's still powerful. I think it was probably good for him to take all that time off of fighting, let his body heal up, maybe get his mind back on track. And I'm picking him for second round TKO against Alexander Volkanovski. Ilir Latifi versus Corey Anderson. I'm a big fan of Ilir Latifi, man. He's about 4'7" and about 205 pounds. So he's originally from Albania, and now he's in Sweden. He trains with guys like Gustafsson and a few other dudes in Sweden. He's like a short, stocky, very powerful wrestler. Got good striking. I think his last fight was against OSP, and he actually got a standing guillotine choke and just totally took the life out of OSP. Very impressive. He's fighting Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson, I think, has the worst nickname ever. Beastin. Corey Beastin 25-8 overtime Anderson. I hope he changed it, dude. I hope his fucking teammate came up to him like, bro, first of all, your nickname's too fucking long. And it's stupid, dude. Beastin 25-8 overtime. Get it, guys? 24/7. But he takes it a step further. Oh, he does 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. Corey Anderson, another very boring fighter. I haven't seen a good fight out of him since he was in The Ultimate Fighter. I know he's got knocked out several times by Jimmy Manawa. He got knocked the fuck out by OSP with a vicious head kick. I would love to see Ilir Latifi get the win. I would love to see Ilir Latifi to get the win. 100%. I'm taking him. He's just so fucking powerful, dude. But then again, Corey Anderson's good too. Corey Anderson's got the. I'm not saying he's got a glass chin, but he's gotten knocked out. I mean, obviously, like if you can catch the dude clean, he's fucking going out. Alir Latifi, he's not known for his great striking, but obviously he's powerful as fuck. So I think that, but the thing is too is that Corey Anderson and Alir Latifi are both excellent wrestlers. Alir's the shorter, stockier one. Corey Anderson's the taller, longer, lankier one. I think it should be a good matchup, but I personally would like to see Alir Latifi get the win. I'm picking him by second round TKO. Next fight. This is an interesting matchup. So we got a legend, absolute fucking legend in Carlos Condit against Michael Chiesa, who is also a good fighter. Michael Chiesa's last fight was at lightweight against Anthony Pettis. He lost via what was it, man? Did he get TKO'd or did he get submitted? I think he got TKO'd. Forget. And then before that, he lost to Kevin Lee, where it was kind of a questionable stoppage, but he was on his way. He was on his way out. Because Kevin Lee took his back, sunk in the rear naked choke. Michael Chiesa was on his way out, but then the ref stopped it. It was it was a lot of controversy, but Kevin Lee was going to win that fight, dude. Michael Chiesa has had serious issues making 155. He says every time he does it, he feels like he's going to die. So this is his welterweight debut at 170 or 77 kilograms for anybody else out there. Carlos Condit has made a comeback. I want to say he fought Neil Magny. He fought Alex Oliveira, who are tough dudes. And I think he fought against, I think he had one other fight. I think he won it. And I know his last fight where, he was still in his, I guess his prime was against Robbie Lawler. And that was a 5-round fucking war. And that was a title shot too, and he didn't quite get it. And Carlos Condit, another example. He said after he retired from fighting, before he made this comeback, he's like, I don't know what else I can do. There's nothing else I can do to support my family. Which, I'm sure there's something he can do, but will it even come close to fighting? Probably not. Carlos Condit has, he's not himself. He's not in his prime anymore. He took all that time off. And sometimes the guys take time off, they come back even better. But Carlos Condit, he just doesn't look the same anymore. And he's fighting a guy like Michael Chiesa, he's a good fighter, man. This is his first fight at welterweight, so Michael Chiesa doesn't have to cut the weight. That extra 15 pounds is huge. He's going to have more energy. He's going to be stronger. He's going to be bigger. I'm sure he's got something to prove. And if he can beat a legend like Carlos Condit, it's definitely going to look good for him. I'm picking Michael Chiesa to get I'm going to go with a third round. I'm going to go with the third round submission on Carlos Condit. Could be wrong, but probably not. Now, we got a girl fight coming up, but these aren't exactly regular girls, and these are women that I would love to see fight anytime. We got Chris Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes. Now, this is a featherweight bout. Amanda Nunes, was the long reigning. Well, I guess she still is is she still the bantamweight champion? I should probably know that, huh? Believe she still is. Let's see here. Yeah, so we got Amanda Nunes, and if you guys don't know who that is, then I'm sorry, but she's a badass Brazilian. And actually, her girlfriend, oh yeah, big surprise, she's a lesbian, right? Her girlfriend, I think her name's Nina, she just fought and won a fight too, so both her and her girlfriend are UFC fighters, that's pretty badass, man. Amanda Nunes is fighting Chris Cyborg, who is arguably a man. We'll see about that. Chris Cyborg, I think she's got one loss on her record, but she pretty much beats the shit out of bitches. She just beats bitches' asses. And she's the champion of a division that really has nobody in it. So it's kind of silly. Her last fight, what was her last fight? Was it Holly Holm? Every time Chris Cyborg fights any of these women, she makes all of these women she fights look like girls. She makes them all look like girls, and she looks like a man beating on women. Amanda Nunes definitely punches hard. She definitely she's beaten some of the best in the world. I just don't see her. If she beats Chris Cyborg, I think it's by decision. I just don't see any women finishing Cyborg. I just don't see it happening. I'm sorry. I'm picking Chris Cyborg, second, third round TKO or by decision. I just don't think Amanda Nunes is strong enough. I don't think she's big enough to beat somebody like Chris Cyborg. I just don't. So I'm picking Chris Cyborg for the win on that one for sure. I'm definitely excited to see that fight though. I mean, Amanda Nunes might catch her, man. She might get her. She's got some serious power. Now, the main event. Oh shit. John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson for the light heavyweight championship. Should be a good fight, man. I recall when they first fought, and it was a pretty good fight. I mean, John Jones took it. People were saying, "Oh, it's John Jones' biggest test yet." I think John Jones' toughest opponent has been DC. Honestly, still, even though he beat him twice, I still think that DC did the most to John Jones. Alexander Gustafsson caught him with a couple of good shots, but nothing. I mean, he definitely got him. And Alexander Gustafsson is a great fighter. He did take it to DC. He almost knocked out DC with that knee, if you guys recall. Both Jones and DC's faces were fucked up after that fight. Now, Alexander Gustafsson's last fight has not been since, I want to say, May of 2017. It's Glover Teixeira. He looked great. He finished Glover in the last few seconds of round 5 with 3 uppercuts, right hook, nasty knockout. John Jones hasn't fought since, August 2017? Knocked out DC, got popped for steroids again. But yet he's back because he sells fucking tickets, which I get it. Now, who do I want to win this fight? Just as a fight fan, I mean, John Jones, it's kind of hard not to be a fan of his, just as a fighter, because he's got personality, he's got the controversy, he's beat the best guys in the world. He's beat way better dudes than Alexander Gustafsson has. Gustafsson, if you watch his interviews, if you watch the press conference, the dude's boring. He has no personality, man. He's definitely a good fighter, but he's just kind of boring, dude. And here's how I think it might play out. Let's say John Jones loses by decision. I don't think Gustafsson could finish him. Could be wrong. Let's say Gustafsson wins and he gets the belt. Good for him. John Jones has nothing left to prove at 205, dude. He has nothing left to prove. Even if he wins. Okay, what, you're just going to fight the same guys you've already beaten? I say he moves to heavyweight. There's so much more interesting matchups for him at heavyweight. He could easily fight at heavyweight. He's big enough. He's strong enough. He got the reach. He wouldn't have to cut any weight. He wouldn't have to cut any weight. And there's more money. There's bigger, better fights for him at fucking heavyweight. So I wouldn't mind seeing Alexander Gustafsson win. Not because I don't like Jones, but just because I think that he's a better fit to be a champion there. Well, John Jones is just going to fight who? Who's he going to fight? Corey Anderson? Alir Latifi? Glover Teixeira again? He's going to fight the same guys he's already beaten the fuck out of. And if he goes to heavyweight, guess what? Fight DC for the heavyweight belt. That's a big money fight, dude. Imagine John Jones fighting Stipe. Imagine John Jones fighting Cain Velasquez, who is also coming back soon. Cain Velasquez has a fight against, who is he fighting? Francis Ngannou. Which I think Cain Velasquez is going to give the beating of a lifetime to Francis Ngannou, personally. I mean, you saw what happened to Francis against Stipe. But then again, Francis fought Curtis Blades, and everybody thought, oh my God, you saw what happened to Francis against Stipe. Why would you put him against Blades, who was a prime-time fucking wrestler and has good ground and pound? Well, Francis Ngannou knocked the fucking shit and turned off the lights on Curtis Blades. So, dude, if Francis Ngannou catches anybody, man, you're fucked. You are going out, dude. You're going out, dude. With that being said, John Jones, there's much more exciting matchups for him at heavyweight. If he wins the light heavyweight belt, that's great, but I'm not excited to see him fight anybody else at light heavyweight. There's nobody else I'm excited to see him fight, dude. Gustafsson, yes, for sure. with that being said, I'm picking John Jones to get the win. I just think he's too crafty, dude. Maybe Gustafsson is too. This is an I don't know fight. This is an I don't know fight. I really can't say who's going to win, but a part of me thinks John Jones is going to win, but I kind of wish he would go to heavyweight. So, anyways, guys, definitely pumped up for these fights. I appreciate y'all listening. I know it's been a long time since I put out the B-hole, but you know, like people will tell me that they like to like listen to my videos on their headphones, or they like to they don't really like to watch my videos because half the time I'm standing in a fucking park anyway, and you guys like to listen to me. So I figure if I do a B-hole, it'll be kind of good for that. So I'd like to do these more often, maybe one a week or so. I appreciate y'all listening, man. Hey, and you know, like, keep the emails coming, guys. No joke striking at gmail.com. Bitches. Follow me on Instagram too, guys, at Brayton Howard, Facebook.com/NoJokeHoward. All my social media contact, like my email, my Instagram, my Facebook, all that shit will be in the description box below. You guys can sign up, follow me if you'd like. And if not, that's cool too, man. I had a pleasure making this video for you guys. I hope you guys have a good time. Hope you guys don't get fucking married. And try to do better every day, man. All right? Peace.